excuse me. So in the last video, we said that market equilibrium is where we get allocative efficiency. There's no better way to allocate resources to get output at a different quantity or a different price that wouldn't benefit consumers while harming producers or vice versa. Let's see how that is, why that is. At this price, we have an equilibrium. We have a market clearing price here, market clearing. And we have a consumer surplus equal to the purple triangle and a producer surplus or profit equal to the producer, to the red triangle. So at this price, I'm making the claim that at this price, consumer and producer surplus are maximized. Well, let's see if that's actually true. Let's take this price. I'm going to call it price 1. Okay, at price 1, we see that if we follow the line over, there's a willingness and ability to purchase this quantity of the product. This quantity of the product by the market. And there's a willingness and ability to sell this quantity of the product. Okay, so Q1 supply, Q1 demand, price 1. So we say, okay, well, here we see obviously the consumer surplus is going to drop to here. And that makes sense because if the price goes up, the additional benefit gained is going to go way down. But look at this. Producer surplus now is all the way out here, right? Look at all that gain in producer surplus. Actually, that's not what the producers gain. They don't gain all of this because they don't get this surplus, because they cannot force people to buy this quantity. This is the quantity that's going to be consumed in the marketplace at this price. The demand, you cannot force anybody to buy anything. So at this price, we're only going to sell that much. In fact, all of this doesn't matter anymore. What ends up happening is that consumers lose all of this. All of this area here, I'm misspeaking. Consumers lose all of that surplus. But you say, well, producers gain, and yes, they do, sort of. Producers will not get this surplus, but they'll get all of that surplus. So producers are actually a little better off because this triangle here is a little bit smaller than this rectangle here. But on the whole, society is worse off because now producer and consumer surplus are only equal to, I shouldn't make that purple, I should make it red. Consumer surplus is this purple triangle, and producer surplus is this red polygon. But this area here, this producer surplus, that consumer surplus, where did that go? Who gained that, right? The producers benefited at the expense of the consumers. Who benefited? Who gained this? Nobody did. Nobody. This is what economists call a dead weight loss to society. Both of these, actually, not just this rectangle, but both of these. That's a dead weight loss to society. At this price, even though producers are made better off, the harm to consumers is so much that ultimately that consumers are hurt more than producers are helped. All of this right here is value, producer surplus, consumer surplus that nobody gets. At P1 and Q1, the total benefit to society is only this, instead of being all of this at a lower price. So this is not an allocatively efficient point. We're going to look at it again with a little bit less clutter on the graph.